No script, no prompter, straight off the cuff. You know who it is.
Making me absolutely crazy. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40! I ain't scared of you. Or who we thought they were. And we let them go. You can't have my cornbread, that's for damn sure. And if you try to take my cornbread, part 2 of my killing spree won't begin up in here on your ass right now.
Greetings and salutations, you know who it is. It's me, King David B, and this is JockWave. Long time no see, long time no hear, long time no talk. Long time. They love me a long time. Yes, I'm back in your ears. Full effect. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Talking about a lot of things going on. Big talkers. This week, this month. I mean, from the R. Kellys to the Jesse Smollett's. What's his name? Smollett. To him. To the college shooting scandal that's going on. Just found about it recently, which, you know, okay. There's just a number of things going on as of recent. Donald Trump, of course, is always in the news. I mean, I wish there was, you know, there's so many things going on that it's almost difficult to condense it down to a small time frame. So you got to kind of give everything about 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there to talk about everything. But one thing I did read about, or I was reading recently. This is something I was reading recently. And this has to do with the onslaught of the LGBTQ things that are going on, Me Too's and all of that. But it just, like I said, I recently seen a video talking about transgender athletes, and this is JockWave. And you know, because I'm a sports guy, I talk about a lot more than just sports. But you know, the fact that you have, I think that you have many, you know, I don't know how many there are, but you have many people who are claiming the transgender card, and then going to another sport. It's I would say fairly interesting, because 9 times out of 10 what you have is men who, I'm not talking about professional sports, I'm talking about high school for the most part, and maybe college, I'm not sure, but you have a lot of, I guess I just heard about it, that you have many people claiming this transgender thing, men claiming to be women, desiring to be women, wanting to transition as whatever, and you have that, and then you have them wanting to play an athletic, you know, play in the athletic field against other women. You know, they're not playing against, you know, young men. They're playing against, you know, they're competing against young women, young ladies, young girls who are who don't have the same physical capabilities as they do biologically, which I believe, and I think many others do, believe the same thing, is that there is an unfair advantage given to these transgendered people. Also, I think that because what's interesting is that you don't have what you don't have is you don't have a bunch of women who are transitioning over to the other side to play. They're not playing, trying to get in the athletic field with men to be a football player or to be play on the same basketball team as, or you know what I'm saying. You don't have that same prowess. Nobody's getting into a boxing ring. I think there was a transgender woman who wanted to fight and get into a boxing match, or I'm not sure if it's boxing or UFC, but I thought I heard about a transgender fighter who was a man and was becoming a woman or whatever, and he wanted to, fight against women. And it kind of, to me, when you, when you're getting into those type of situations, I would simply say that kind of crosses the line of the tomfoolery, I would like to call it, as to me what transgender is, which is confusion to me. I guess people are like, well, you do what you do, and you just do what you do. If that's what you choose, then that's what you choose. In this day and age of where they want to say that we all should be free to speak, there's one thing to talk about hate speech, which hate is to wish evil upon. Another thing is to talk about something that doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, I can, it's like, why can't I talk about something that doesn't make sense to me? You want to clarify it, then clarify it, but don't call it hatred because I don't understand you. That's not, I don't hate you for whatever it is that you're trying to do. What I don't do is understand your motives, or I don't understand your stance, and I might not understand fully what that means. So rather than call it hatred, you can call it, okay, this person is ignorant. Okay, yeah, I'm ignorant to what a transgender is even supposed to be, other than a man who wants to be a woman or a woman who wants to be a man. But when you tell me things that sound as silly as, when you tell me things that sound as silly as I was born this way, yet I have to transition to be that does not add up or equal to each other. That sounds like foolishness to me. There's no way you were born some way, but you still have to transition to it. You have to take, and repair yourself to become it. You can't say, I can't say I was born black, but I'm white too. No, or else you can say that in any way. You can say that about anything. Just like the lady who was saying, oh, well, I identify as black. I forget her name right now. I'm going to tip of my tongue, but the chick who said I can identify as black, and who was running the NAACP in Washington or whatever, and she was for what it's worth, she was living life as a black woman. Yet when it came out, it's like you've seen a whole bunch of black women talking about you ain't gone through my struggle, and this is white privilege. Well, to me, I see privilege everywhere to anybody that does not go with the mainstream society. And whatever society says is okay, it's okay. If society deems it not okay, then it's not okay. Transgender is confusion in the same way that white woman, you want to call her confused or wrong. I would say that anybody who's trans anything is confused about who they are, and they're not really that person. That's the truth. And the truth shall set you free. So let's not confuse. Let's not confuse ourselves as to try to say that if I have my own thoughts and they don't agree with you, I hate you. No, my thoughts might not agree with you, but it has nothing to do with hatred. It's just saying, one, I don't understand, or two, I don't agree. It's one or the other. And maybe both. I don't understand, I don't agree. I don't agree because I don't understand. I don't understand because I don't agree. That's just how it works. But it was also a video talking about the mainstream. This is JockWave, and I'm King David B. Talking about the mainstream. There's a mainstream blackness that I have noticed. Mainstream blackness. I think David Banner might talk about this one. I think he said there's like two different types of black people that mainstream America or mainstream white America will allow to be on TV. And that's either over the top, over the top, ignorant, foolish acting, nigga with a gun, or completely whitewashed in a sense. Let me use the word whitewashed. Completely whitewashed in a sense to say things where they don't identify with black people. But I actually only seen the title of this on a YouTube video. It said the blackness that the white mainstream promotes. Now, this is what I want to talk about in that mindset. The blackness that the white mainstream promotes. Part of that promotion has to come from black people. You have to be willing to sacrifice yourself to be promoted in that way. That's my mentality. If you choose to be promoted the way, quote unquote, mainstream, white mainstream, and I'm saying in a sense worldwide, if you choose to promote yourself that way, that actually rests on you. If we had more people willing to, and I think we do have a good amount of people. I think that we have more people now than we have had in the recent years to get on these platforms and speak with sense and eloquence, and also speak as to strengthen their culture of where they come from. Now, here's the thing about that, because with a lot of people that you have speaking in that way, my issue that I've noticed is that you have people that will still agree in certain aspects with the white mainstream. Mainstream. That would be mainstream America. You have people still willing to agree with the mainstream white America that says that says, oh, we can't do this, or we should do that, or it's whatever. And I say that's society. Society is mainstream white America. If society says it's okay, then we say it's okay. If society says that's not okay, we say that's not okay. But if you've ever listened to the news or any TMZ or anything like that, where they talk about Black Twitter, and you have to say that, and you would know this if you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, if you're on any social media, let's say any social media sites, black people typically react differently than white people do. But in mainstream society, I noticed that a lot of black people will contort themselves to mainstream society so that they can fit in. And then outside of that society, outside of mainstream society, they'll talk as if, they're free. Like, I'm free to talk this way now that I'm not over there. But when I'm over there, I gotta talk a different way. And it's no different than when we was on slave plantations and things like that. We can talk about freedom, but don't let masses hear about it. We can read, but don't let masses find out. So there's things, and I said, in the mentality of black people, this is what we do, is we appropriate ourselves for white America, but, and at the same time, we're still trying to live that dual life so that we can still fit in with our own black society, which is interesting. And this is the thing about being famous that I'm not, being a celebrity. This little thing about that is that the vast majority of black celebrities appropriate themselves to white society because that's where they make money, and they feel like they have to. They feel like they have to do it. And if they don't appropriate themselves to the white society, then they won't be able to make the same amount of money. They won't be able to do the same thing. Jemele Hill is an example, kind of, but she got the money out of it, but she got fired, or she had to quit. I don't know where Jemele is at this point in time. Jemele Hill is at this point in time, but in the speaking out, it's almost like she spoke out and then she had to go hide. She had to go away and be quiet. The platform that she was on wouldn't allow her to, of course, it was mainstream white society, mainstream white America. The platform that Jemele Hill was on was too grand for her to speak as a black woman. They just want you to speak as a woman, or they just want you to speak as a man, and say, as if we can't speak as black. You say, well, no, there's only one race, there's a human race, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Now, when we get to that point, that's fantastic, but we're not there yet. So at this point in time, we're still speaking as the color that we are. More so black people, because we are typically the ones who are most discriminated against. And that's when it comes to every culture in America, and even outside of America, we are still the ones the most discriminated against. I remember going to Mexico one time when I was, it was my senior class trip. I remember going to Mexico, and there was this guy, seemingly Mexican, talking about, what gang are you from, and blah, 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 blah. And I kind of was laughing at that dude. Like, I don't know, he was acting like he was drunk, but he seemed kind of like he was overdoing the drunkenness. But it was just, so it came across to be fake. I think he was fake. I think he was trying to, he was trying to do some extra stuff to see how far he can go, if he can get me to sneak off. To me, that's the type of people that be trying to plot to do something to somebody, to do something to a nigga. If I would have been like, oh yeah, let's go do this and let's go do that, I would have been, somewhere else. I wouldn't even be on here. But he was saying all this stuff, and I didn't kind of roll with him. I didn't kind of go with what he was saying. I was just like, yeah, whatever, okay, yeah. And laughed it off and was like, okay, yeah, and walked away because, essentially, I didn't go down to Mexico with a bunch of black folks. I went down there with, the majority of white people from my senior class in my high school. So it really had nothing to, I didn't really have that type of support. But I also wasn't trying to, be in a foreign land getting in trouble either. So there's times where you have to pull back. I understand. There's times where you can push forward. You can say what's on your mind. But I don't think there's ever a time where you don't, where you feel like you have to not be you. And I think that's what we fail to do sometimes as black people. We feel like we have to stop being ourselves and appropriate ourselves to a society and to a culture that does not consider us humans. Even the black race in a lot of cultures are really considered. A lot of cultures outside of being black, and even in some with some black people, black people are not even considered, a lot of times, especially in America, we're considered aliens. Or we're considered something that's outside of a regular human. And that's how people perceive us, and which is why it's okay for certain things to be, and it's okay for us to act a certain way, and it's okay for people to treat us in certain ways, because that's what we allow, right? No different than this. This is JockWave. I'm King David B. Look, the college cheating scandal that just got kind of brought to the attention of the world. This where you have celebrities, CEOs, I say the wealthy, the wealthy white people. I'm going to say wealthy white people. Now, if there's some black folks, okay, I don't know. But all I see is white folks at this point in time. So you have the wealthy people, the people who are running things, doctoring transcripts and doctoring qualifications, requirements, doctoring requirements necessary to get into the best schools. Now, when I heard about this, I'm like, is anybody surprised that these rich people are paying people off to be like, isn't that what's been going on since the beginning of whenever it's been going on, I would say since it all started? Since you had a college that you can go to and that they charged you to go to, I'm certain that from the beginning of the college era, however way back when, you had people who were kept out, and you had people who were allowed in despite who they are, because of who their parents were, or who where they lived, or who they knew. That's I think that's been going on for a long time. I'm not surprised. You got people talking about it as if it's surprising. Well, Lori Loughlin, what is her name? Lori something, Felicity Huffman, and all these people are. Would you have believed that? Yeah, I would have believed it, because they are white people who are rich, and they don't want black people to be there. So, let's pay to make sure I get my child in there. I don't see how this is surprising to anybody. I'm talking about it because I don't get how people are acting as if it's a surprise. That's the silly part to me. Other than that, I have nothing else to say about that college cheating scandal. Other than this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. It really shouldn't be news, because it should be like no different than a really quick soundbite, like the child. People got found out about college cheating scandal, and there's actresses, there's CEOs, and blah 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 involved. Boom, leave it alone. When Maurice Claret got in trouble at Ohio State, or any when the University of Miami, the Hurricanes, when they got in trouble for their recruiting thing, and Reggie Bush got in trouble for whatever, had to give back his Heisman and all this other, So it's like they come down on the black athlete. No. They come down on a black athlete as if, hey, you were wrong for accepting money. You were broke. You were broke. You were brought to the school to run and to be strong and to play on our athletic program, do well in our athletic program, make us win, make us money. And we paid you to go to school. We paid for your school. But other than that, you're not supposed to actually, come up in that way. So they do a lot of negative press towards the black athlete, or the black athletes who have been lumped into cheating, supposedly. And yet, the people paying these people are white, 9 times out of 10, these athletes. Yet, the white people getting, the white celebrities and higher ups, CEOs and things, are getting in trouble for paying to get their children in college. And, you know, they really aren't saying too many negative things about them. It really isn't. It's almost like I said. There's a really they would do that. Why would they do that type of thing? It's you know, because they're white. Why would they need to do that? That's really what it is. They're white. Why would they need to cheat to get in, man? No, they're so much smarter than Negroes. You know, not even Negroes. They're so much smarter than the niggers. Why would they have to cheat to get in there, right? And that's how they really feel. That's the truth. Let's be honest. Let's be real honest. Yeah, this is JockWave, David B, King David B. Sports guy talking about a lot more than just sports. I think I'm just going to leave it there. We're going to put the point and the period and the end right there, other than talk about LeBron James and his felonious trip to the Los Angeles Lakers, trying to be something that he's not. There's no reason for LeBron James to even want to even try to go to Los Angeles to play it for the Lakers. There was no point. He should have stayed in Cleveland, or he should have retired. Boom, point, period, right there. The NFL free agency. People are surprised about the Odell Beckham Jr. trade. I think the Giants are just trying to blow it up and put it back, and then come back to, and then put something back together. There's no reason for them to keep Odell Beckham Jr. as a piece to become a champion in New York. I believe they did the right thing. I'm not a Giants fan necessarily, but I don't hate the Giants either. But excuse me, I don't hate the Giants. I just think that they did the right thing. They're blowing it up to put it back together. They got to break it down to build it up. What else are we talking about in sports? Something else in sports? There's a young lady that's playing Division I football, 5'7", 165 pounds. I hope she doesn't get killed. She's not very big, and she's played with high school athletes. She's played with some college athletes, but she says she wants to play in the NFL. I would say that she has to be severely careful, extremely careful, because some of these people will try to take her head off just for the sake of, because she's like, oh, you think you're good enough to be here? Let me show you something. Boom, and that's how it works sometimes. So I would say be careful with that. What else do we have to talk about? Any more sports-related things? Because I want to make sure that JockWave, the sports guy who talks about a lot more than just sports, has to end on some sports. Huh? Anything else to talk about sports? No, okay, that's all right. We'll wrap it up, and you'll see me again soon. That's the truth, and it shall set you free. Thank you, Jesus, for that word. I love me some Jesus. But yeah, check me out, Sound Doctrine, where I talk about Jesus and the church, the body of Christ, God's children, and we talk about the Holy Bible, the Word of God, religion as a whole, and many other things on that Sound Doctrine program. So check me out on Sound Doctrine, and make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. Well, once again, it's always a pleasure, and we'll see you soon. I'm out.